everyone, so today I will be sharing you short stories that will change the way you think. I hope it will lighten your day, and I'm not a good storyteller, but I will try my best. I hope you enjoy. Story number one, all the difference in the world. Every Sunday morning, I take a light jog around a park near my home. There's a lake located in one corner of the park. Each time I jog by this lake, I see the same elderly woman sitting at the water's edge with a small metal cage sitting beside her. This past Sunday, my curiosity got the best of me, so I stopped jogging and walked over to her. As I got closer, I realized that the metal cage was in fact a small trap. There were three turtles unharmed, slowly walking around the base of the trap. She had a fourth turtle in her lap that she was currently scrubbing with a spongy brush. "Hello," I said. "I see you here every Sunday morning. If you don't mind my nosiness, I'd love to know what you're doing with these turtles." She smiled. "I'm cleaning off their shells," she replied. "Anything on the turtle shells like algae or scum reduces the turtle's ability to absorb heat and impede its ability to swim. It can also corrode and weaken the shell over time." "Wow, that's real nice of you," I exclaimed. She went on. "I spend a couple of hours each Sunday morning relaxing by this lake and helping these little guys out. It's my own strange way of making a difference." "But don't most freshwater turtles live their whole lives with algae and scum hanging from their shells?" I asked. "Yep, sadly they do," she replied. I scratched my head. Well then, don't you think your time would be better spent? I think your efforts are kind and all, but there are freshwater turtles living in lakes all around the world. And 99% of these turtles don't have kind of people like you help them clean off their shells. So no offense, but how exactly are your localized efforts here truly making a difference?" The woman giggled aloud. She then looked down at the turtle in her lap, scrubbed off the last piece of algae from its shell, and said, "Sweetie, if this little guy could talk, he'd tell you I just made all the difference in the world." Moral of the story, you can change the world, maybe not all at once, but one person, one animal, and one good deed at a time. Wake up every morning and pretend like what you do makes a difference. Story number two, the weight of the glass. Once upon a time, a psychology professor walked around on a stage while teaching stress management principles to an auditorium filled with students. As she raised a glass of water, everyone expected they'd be asked the typical glass half empty or glass half full question. Instead, with a smile on her face, the professor asked, "How heavy is this glass of water I'm holding?" Students shouted out answers ranging from 8 ounces to a couple pounds. She replied, "From my perspective, the absolute weight of this glass doesn't matter. It all depends on how long I hold it. If I hold it for a minute or two, it's fairly light. If I hold it for an hour straight, its weight might make my arm ache a little. If I hold it for a day straight, my arm will likely crump up and feel completely numb and paralyzed, forcing me to drop the glass to the floor. In its case, the weight of the glass doesn't change, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it feels to me." As the class shook their heads in agreement, she continued, "Your stress and worries in life are very much like this glass of water. Think about them for a while and nothing happens. Think about them a bit longer and you begin to ache a little. Think about them all day long and you will feel completely numb and paralyzed, incapable of doing anything else until you drop them. Moral of the story: it's important to remember to let go of your stresses and worries. No matter what happens during the day, as early in the evening as you can, put all your burdens down. Don't carry them through the night and into the next day with you. If you still feel the weight of yesterday's stress, it's a strong sign that it's time to put the glass down. Story number 3, Shark Bait. During a research experiment, a marine biologist placed a shark into a large holding tank and then released several small bait fish into the tank. As you would expect, the shark quickly swam around the tank, attacked and ate the smaller fish. The marine biologist then inserted a strong piece of clear fiberglass into the tank, creating 2 separate partitions. She then put the shark on one side of the fiberglass and a new set of bait fish on the other. Again, the shark quickly attacked. This time, however, the shark slumped into the fiberglass divider and bounced off. Undeterred, the shark kept repeating this behavior every few minutes to no avail. Meanwhile, the baitfish swam around unharmed in the second partition. Eventually, about an hour into the experiment, the shark gave up. This experiment was repeated several dozen times over the next few weeks. Each time, the shark got less aggressive and made fewer attempts to attack the baitfish, until eventually the shark got tired of hitting the fiberglass divider and simply stopped attacking altogether. The marine biologist then removed the fiberglass divider, but the shark didn't attack. The shark was trained to believe a barrier existed between it and the baitfish, so the baitfish swam wherever they wished, free from harm. Moral of the story: many of us, after experiencing setbacks and failures, emotionally give up and stop trying. Like the shark in the story, we believe that because we were unsuccessful in the past, we will always be unsuccessful. In other words, we continue to see a barrier in our heads. Even when no real barriers exist between where we are and where we want to go. The last story, Being and Breathing. One warm evening many years ago, after spending nearly every waking minute with Angel for 8 straight days, I knew that I had to tell her just one thing. So late at night, just before she fell asleep, I whispered it in her ear. She smiled, the kind of smile that makes me smile back. And she said, "When I'm 75 and I think about my life and what it was like to be young, I hope that I can remember this very moment." A few seconds later, she closed her eyes and fell asleep. The room was peaceful, almost silent. All I could hear was the soft purr of her breathing. I stayed awake thinking about the time we'd spent together and all the choices in our lives that made this moment possible. At some point, I realized that it didn't matter what we'd done or what we've gone, nor did the future hold any significance. All that mattered was the serenity of the moment. The moral of the story: we must not allow the clock, the calendar, and the external pressures to rule our lives and blind us to the fact that each individual moment of our lives is a beautiful mystery and a miracle, especially those moments we spend in the presence of a loved one. Ayan, tapos na po ang ating storytelling. Sana po may naintindihan kayo doon sa aking sinabi, sa aking binasa. So, ang nagandahan ko po sa apat na story na yan kasi maganda yung moral story niya. Sa totoo lang po, every week ko po yung binabasa. Mga 2 weeks straight na po yung binabasa ko yan lagi. Every time na I feel down, binabasa ko po yung story na yan. Totoo po, tuwing gabi binabasa ko po yan bago ako matulog. So, sometimes meron tayong ups and downs sa ating buhay. So, minsan, para maiwasan natin mawala yung stress ko sa buhay. So, yan yung binabasa ko po. No, naisipan ko ding i-share sa inyo para naman kahit papaano it will lighten your day. Kasi lahat naman tayo may mga pinagdaanan sa buhay. So, nang nabasa ko yan, parang gumaan yung aking pakiramdam. Means, parang, ewan ko, basta kapag nababasa ko po yung story na yan, mga stories na yan, parang gumagaan ang aking pakiramdam. Parang nabubuhay muli ang aking pag-asa. Ganon. Pero totoo yan. So, lahat tayo sa buhay may mga failures din. Tapos, parang nawawalan tayo ng pag-asa. Kaya yan yung nakita ko, nag-scroll ako sa internet, nakita ko po yan yung stories na yan. So, sinave ko talaga. Tapos, tuwing gabi binabasa ko po yan. So, it helps me na nakakatulong sa akin. Sana sa inyo din po, makakatulong din yan. Naisipan ko lang pong i-share sa inyo kasi maganda talaga yung naidulot niya sa akin yung story na yan. So, sana sa inyo din makatulong at sana naintindihan nyo po the way I deliver the story. Hindi naman po ako good storyteller pero I tried my best naman. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy listening that stories. May nakuha kayong lesson doon. Thank you for watching. See you on my next vlog. Bye!